What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens episode review. Today, guys, we are going to be going over episode 28 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. So, like I always say, without further ado, guys, let's not waste any time, and let's get into this episode because, guys, I'm actually pretty excited to get into this episode. I feel like this review is going to be a little bit longer than my normal ones because a lot of stuff happens in this episode, so I can't wait, so let's get right into it. So, what were my thoughts on this episode? I actually did enjoy this episode quite a bit. I will say, though, this beat my expectations for this episode. I already knew that I was going to be excited to see Rikuyu Asan in this episode. I'm just going to call her Asan, it's easier for me to remember. We got to see her in this episode, and then we had the duel with Tsushiko and Roman, which you guys probably already knew that wasn't too hyped for it because of the fact that Roman was going to be dueling in Berserk mode with quotation marks in this episode, so I was not on the biggest side of it, but after this duel, dude, I had a different opinion on it, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on, so let's get right into it. So, the episode starts off with Rook getting this little note from this like pigeon saying that there is going to be a rush duel tournament that is going to be occurring and that Yuga and Co should participate in a training camp to be prepared for this new tournament. So Rook gets everyone into the room. He tells them all about this. They go, well, no, gets them together. He talks about that. They go into the student council room and they actually meet Sebastian, and Sebastian is the one that's supposed to be kind of like their advisor. I think he said he was their advisor for the Rush Duel tournament for that club because Neil was the one that sent him, which we didn't see him in this episode, which was kind of sad, but we do know that Neil, Top of Hexagon, the 5 members of Top of Hexagon, and Mimi all got demoted from their standings, which I kind of expected that was going to happen. I mean, the 5 Hexagon members were a waste. I kind of knew they were going to go irrelevant after they got smoked by Neil, and then the same thing with Neil and Mimi. I mean, they didn't follow Mr. Goha's wishes and what he wanted to do, so obviously they got demoted. And we do see a scene where like Mimi is like, she was happy, she got on her desk, she starts dancing because she was able to escape it, but then a drone comes in and tells her that she got demoted, and she gets a little bit upset about this, goes to Mr. Goha, and here's where this thing starts to go insane. As when she goes into the room, Mr. Goha is just standing there, he's not responding or anything, and then just all of a sudden, he collapses. And then, Mimi has this scream, like a very loud scream. And what was really weird about that is because I don't honestly know what in the world happened. When I watched that unsubbed, I kind of felt like I thought he just like collapsed and died almost in a way. I don't think he actually died, but like he had like a heart attack or something like that, or like he passed out or something like that, and he had to go to the hospital because later on in the episode, Rook kind of talks about it, but then that's where I learned that he was talking about Rikuyu Asan and the whole like I think it was like the excavator club, I think is what they were called, so that's what that was all about. I thought it had something to do with Goha because we saw the Goha building, which, be honest, that's my bad, I shouldn't have known that, but anyway. Oh, actually, also with that scene as well, Mr. Goha's mask ended up coming off. I didn't actually notice until the second time I actually watched this episode, as you didn't really see like the top or like the bottom part of like his neck or like the cape area. It didn't look like he actually fell on the floor; it just looked like the mask popped up. So, I don't know how to interpret it. There was 2 things that I heard from it. Either A, like it was some person that Mimi knew, but she never actually knew it was Mr. Goha, because remember when the Top of Hexagon members were talking and Mimi was in the, or when the Top of Hexagon, no, geez, excuse me, when Mr. Goha was speaking, the Top of Hexagon members and Mimi were shocked when they hear him talk, and maybe it's because I don't know. That was just something I was hearing. I don't know where I was going with that, but the other thing and that's what I believe, is that no one was there. The mask came off and no one was there. So that poses the question: where is Goha? Like, what in the world happened with that scene? And maybe he did clasp, but it looked like to me his helmet was just off. That was the only thing we saw, and then we just saw the light coming from the door when she screamed. So we don't even know if he's on the floor or not, if there's an actual person on the floor. So who knows? We would have to wait and see when the world happens. I mean, if he did like pass out or something like that, I feel like it would have been mentioned in this episode, but I obviously don't believe that. So yeah, that's an interesting thing right there, and I wonder what they're gonna do with that. I guess I'll mention it right now because I've been hearing a theory that's been tossed around, and I'm not gonna talk about it in this video. If you guys want to talk about it, just do so in the comments. People have been theorizing that Asan is Mr. Goha. Now, I've made some crazy theories, but I honestly can see that happening. Again, I'm not gonna really talk about it, but let's just say there was a line that one of those characters said that were very similar to each other, so people have been theorizing that those characters could potentially be the same or related in some way. So maybe you'll see it on the channel. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to really cover it or not. I mean, I've done so many theory videos. Well, I shouldn't say so many. I've only done 4, and they've all been about Mr. Goha, so I don't know. Plus, well, imagine that. It was a girl all along, and they've been calling her Mr. Goha. That would be funny. But getting back on topic, they end up going to the training camp. In fact, Metsuboro's group is there. Metsuboro, Sushiko, and Nick Yagi, I believe, was what the rip-off Jim Crocodile Cook guy that was in this episode. They ended up participating in it as well. You also had the Dino Club there as well, and then I think there was like the I can't remember what the club was. It was either the fishing club or it was the insect club. I think it was the insect club, but I could be completely wrong in that. We don't know any of the 3 guys that were over there, so I really don't care. But you then have the scene where Rook is basically coaching them and doing like warm-ups and stuff like that before they do, which the fact that, I mean, I understand because he's technically like the one who started the Rush Duel Club, so he's like kind of the leader, so that's why he's kind of like the commander and all that, but it still is weird to kind of look at that. You'd think Yuga is, but hey, I like the little change up there. But they all have this like training routine. Roman actually stops a couple of times because Rook mentions that when she gets under pressure, that's when she can then show her full strength, and that's why he had her like stop and she could take a water or something like that and do all that kind of stuff, which that was kind of stupid. I mean, you were picking favorites, Rook, let's be honest here, but they end up then also chasing chickens. In fact, Yuga disappears from the group because he was chasing the chicken. And then this is when we get our first encounter with Asan. She was trying to fix her little excavator thing, and she couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I think its name was R6. I could be wrong on that, on the number, but I believe it was R6. Yuga goes and helps Asan like fix her machine, and she was able to get it working again, and Yuga actually asks if he can actually drive the machine as well, or like if he can try out the machine for himself, and Asan obliged and said it was okay, which maybe this is just me, but did anyone else get romantic vibes from this? It was the scenery, I swear, the music, everything. They made this feel like it was a romantic scene. Even the way when Yuga was driving the machine, where Asan was really close to Yuga and even like leaned towards him, like when there was a bump through the flowers, like that was pure romantic scene right there. I mean, if you consider this, I know it's been a while for this, and this is depending on your interpretation, but if you think that the Yusaku and Aoi benching that they had in Brains is a romantic implication, there is no way you can tell me that this is not a romantic implication. This is more of a romantic implication than that ever was. So yeah, that's kind of That's kind of interesting that the way they did that. I thought it was a little bit weird at first, but I don't mind it. I mean, it feels weird, especially since this is the main antagonist, and then we have her at the end of the episode with like this blood moon scene in the background when she says that I can't wait for us to duel because she does know of Yuga. We find that out after the little ride. She knows about rush duels and she knows about Yuga Oda creating the rush duels. In fact, he actually challenges her to a duel, but because someone was calling her on the comms, she actually could not duel and she ends up leaving before Yuga ends up going back with the group. So first interaction of Asan, I think she's been a good character so far, especially with that little thing at the end of the episode. I really did like. She's gonna definitely be a little bit more menace. I hope she's like more. I feel like she's gonna be more of a calculated kind of character, kind of like how Nia was, where she stays calm and she stays calm and collective through her duels. And I feel like that's just gonna be a character that she's gonna be for the series, and I will absolutely love that. I think she's been great. So I think she's been good so far. We haven't seen enough of her yet to say great, but for her first appearance, I'm not disappointed. I think she's going to be a very interesting character, and I can't wait to see what more she does in the series. Again, she didn't really do that much. The only thing we got was just a scene of Yuga and her in the flowers, and then they kind of talked a little bit after that. So, yeah, and again, let me know if you guys think that whole scene was romantic or not. I want to know you guys' thoughts on that. But we get back into the area, and that's when the whole Gakuto explaining what the whole club was all about, how they were actually under Goha Corporation, which a very interesting line that Gakuto says that I didn't mention earlier is that this club or this group can overrule the student council, which is pretty insane. I mean, when it comes to like high school student council and stuff like that, which when I was in high school, it was elementary school. We actually had a student councils as well. In fact, I was in there. I think my sixth grade year, I was our representative. So yeah, but I've never seen like someone able to overtake it. So to kind of see this, even like in high school, like even though I wasn't a part of it, I knew a lot of people that were in there. In fact, I was in a meeting with them because I think they were talking about something. And I was in that room with them, and I've never seen before, I've heard before of someone overruling it. I mean, like a teacher might, but I don't think a son is no, she has to be like a kid that goes to that school. There's no way. Unless it was like a teacher, I would understand, but these are not teachers. So what's up with that? I don't know. But that's kind of interesting that they can like overrule the student council, which is pretty insane. But then we get to the scene where Roman and Tsuchiko end up fighting over the remote, which we'll say though, no stakes in this, which is completely fine. I mean, we got back from the intense arc, but just I feel like this was such relatable. I mean, when you have like siblings or something like that, you always fought in the remote. Now, when I was growing up, I actually fought the remote with my sister as well when we were kids because we always wanted to watch TV in the living room. Like we didn't want to go in our rooms and stuff like that because the TV in the living room was so much bigger and we want to watch our shows in a bigger screen. So we would actually fight over it. Now, my sister is not into Yu-Gi-Oh at all, so this had no relevance to her, which we didn't even duel or anything like that. But I love the fact that it's like, you know what? You want to sell this? Do it in a duel. I mean, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! What do you expect? In fact, with us, we literally, I think we actually like played poker or something like that. So I kind of relate to this because we did some type of card game. We did like, no, it wasn't poker. We did a goldfish match. No, not goldfish. Jeez, why did I think goldfish? An old maid match. And whoever won the old maid match got the TV, or it would just be my sister got priority because she was a younger one. So yeah, but we try to make a little bit fun of who got the TV, and I kind of felt that way as well with this. So I kind of got some like childhood memories from this episode, and I really do appreciate it. But we get into the duel. Wow, this duel, dude. Shocking result. If you guys remember in the summary, I said that Roman was going to win, which I am wrong. I am so stupid. I should never just rely on one of the main cast's winning because of a new ace monster coming into the show. If that is the case, it doesn't happen all the time. I remember Aoi got her own ace monster in Lost the Eye, which not only did he get an ace monster, but he was the main antagonist. I understand that. But I feel like when an ace monster is given to a character, it doesn't always mean that, especially since another character could be getting a new ace monster. I mean, Sushiko's ace monster was revealed in this episode, so yeah, and I just stuck in that mindset. This is actually the second duel I was shocked about. The first one being the Mimi and Yoshio duel. I thought Yoshio had no chance of winning that duel, to be completely honest. I felt like Neil's team needed a win there, so I felt like Mimi losing didn't make any sense, which obviously I was wrong, and Yoshio ended up winning this duel. I thought Roman was going to win this duel because she's been not only from the ace monster, but she was also built up so much well, and I shouldn't be harsh on myself for that because this was unpredictable. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This was unexpected because she was going into this at 3-1, only losing to Yuga, our main protagonist. In fact, not even using her decks, so, she kind of had an advantage going into this. But the overall duel, I like the shock result. You guys know I do not like that mode she goes into where she ends up going crazy. I will say, though, I was shocked because it was during her turn after she saw that Princess G was on the TV. Now, if you don't know who Princess G was, I do not blame you. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even know who this character was when they mentioned the name. That was the character that actually gave Roman prima guitarist of the Colorful Lights, which I now realize I've been saying that name wrong. It's colorful lights, G's, and not shining lights. I thought it was shining and smashing. I thought they were close, but no. We also got to see the other new one. I can't remember the front name of it. It was of the Dreaming Lights. I just remember the last part. It's the easiest way for me to remember the new cards. But she actually summoned in this episode. In fact, she went into the Berserk mode. I'm doing quotation marks. I forgot you guys can't see me, so that's my bad. But she goes in that mode. She's about to go and attack. Rook turns on the TV because he wants to check out this show for himself. Sees Princess G. She kind of thinks about, like, do I want to watch this show that I was been dueling for this entire time, or do I want to watch Sushiko's show to kind of see why Princess G was in this show, why she was in this episode? So she was kind of having that conflict with herself. Sushiko kind of snapped her out of it, and then she snaps out of the mode, which shocked me, and even shocked Yuga, Metsuboro, and Gakuto. Like, they were not expecting Roman to get out of this, so it's interesting because of the fact that she can just snap out of it, I guess, whenever she wants, which I'm fine with, I guess. It's weird because, I don't know, I feel like it was just because she got distracted and just lost focus that she kind of got out of that mode and she wasn't angry anymore, because I feel like when she gets angry, I feel like is when she normally gets into it, because she was angry that she was hungry the first time. I think she got angry because she was happy for Rook for something. I can't remember what it was. It was during the Arata duel when she got it. And then she got mad because all Sushiko would talk about was sushi, and my god, her deck. Her deck, and I'm just going to say, dude, Sushiko just dominated Roman in this episode because she had a counter for everything, for the whole light point drops that she would have, because Roman's whole deck style is losing light points to be able to gain the monsters that you need to summon powerful monsters. But she was able to stop that. She would return cards to the deck, make Roman gain her light points again, and it was just insane. Sushiko just had total control of this duel, I felt like. In fact, Roman didn't even get her under 1,000 light points. I believe she had 1,400 light points left by the end of this duel before we got in her turn, in which case we saw her Sushi Angel Ace monster, which I think is a pretty cool design monster, to be completely honest, with an effect. I think it was able to lower a monster's attack points if your opponent has 4,000 or more life points, which kind of makes sense of why she kept giving Roman life points. I feel like if you're just sending the cards back to the deck anyways, I feel like keeping her life points low, I feel like does hurt Roman, because if she doesn't like have the cards to like, or I shouldn't say cards, it doesn't have enough life points to make the cost for these cards, she might end up running out of life points before she can actually pop off her plays. Which she can also gain life points with some of her cards, which I will say though, Roman needs to get some more cards in her deck. I feel like she just uses the same monsters over and over again, but I mean, this is just the beginning of the show. I shouldn't get too worried about it. I feel like we're going to see more monsters. I just feel like her deck is just the same, with spells and traps maybe being different, but everything else just feels the same, I feel like. But maybe that's just me. I mean, I'm not memorizing all these cards, so I could be completely wrong. We might be seeing more monsters than I think, but that's what it honestly kind of feels like, in my opinion. But Tsuchiko is able to lower Prima Guitarist's attack points and was able to attack for game, because I think she was also able. No, I think this sushi monster was able to destroy the monster in the field, and then Roman took damage equal to his attack points. I could be wrong about that, but I think it was a trap card that lowered the attack points. I could be completely wrong about that. I might be getting it mixed up, but it was something like that. She is able to attack Prima Guitarist, and Roman ends up losing the duel, which I'm fine with her losing. The only issue I would say I had with it was, if she was going to lose, I wish she was still in the mode. Now, that might be a little bit weird for me to say because, well, don't you hate the mode? Why would you want her still in the mode? I want her to lose in this mode. I don't care if she has to lose badly in this mode, because for me personally, I just want her to stop using it. Honestly, if this power of hers just went away from the show and we never see it again, honestly, I'm not going to question it, and I'm not going to care. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, because I just don't like the fact that it changes her personality like this. And another issue with why I say that as well is because if you don't count the Otis duel, every time she's dueled so far in the series, and that she lost, she was out of the mode. When she dueled Yuga, she was not in that mode. In fact, she didn't even use it the entire duel. Then we got this duel. She did use it, but she snapped out of it closer to the end of the duel, which I'm not going to say, oh, if she stayed in the mode, she's going to win. I'm not going to say that from what I'm going to about to imply in just a second. I don't think so. I think Tsuchiko would have won either way, but I don't know. I just hurt a little bit. Just that minor little detail there just kind of hurt a little bit. But then you look at her wins. Every time she was in that mode, she has won the duel. And that kind of bothers me. The fact that it makes it look like she is winning these duels in this mode. Like, it almost seems like she can't win without this. And again, I'm not counting the Otis duel, because we don't even know if she used it in that duel or not. We know when she was attacking Otis, her eyes didn't actually have the color, which you can make a fair argument that maybe that was an error and they didn't have the time, they didn't want to edit it in the red eyes. I don't know, or maybe it's because they were the way she was talking the Rook, maybe Gakuto, maybe she snapped out of it when she attacked. I have no idea, but we really don't know what that happened in that duel, so I'm not going to even count it for this scenario. But if you want to, that's completely fine. Then there is a time where she won without being in the mode, which would be a good thing, to be completely honest. But for me, I don't count that, and so far, Roman has only won duels in this mode. Again, not saying that she only can win in this duel. I feel like with this duel, even if she was in it or not, I don't believe that she was going to win. But I think if she stayed in that mode, I think it would kind of give her more the sentiment that, oh, she can't just rely on this power forever. She needs to learn to use her own skills and not use this mode that we don't even have an explanation of why this even happens. I mean, we know why, because when she gets in an angry state, she becomes like this, but when she goes into this mode, she's normally angry. That's the only thing we know about this. And then we know, like, it can be any type of angriness. Like, she can be angry and happy. She can be angry and hungry. She can be angry and actually frustrated. So, yeah, we kind of know how it works. We don't know why it happens, but maybe they'll explain it. I have no idea. But shock result, I still love that. This duel is definitely going to be a little bit higher when I do rank the duels, because it's actually coming up pretty soon in the next two episodes. I believe I will be doing 21 through 30. I believe that's the next one that's going to be coming up. I'm going to be ranked those. And I think that one has a chance to be in the middle, which, if you guys remember from the last list, I believe both Roman duels were my second and third least favorite of this, like, 10 episodes that we went over. So the fact that I'm saying it's a little bit higher is a good sign, but I just want her to stop using that. That's the only thing I ask, really. Or if she wants to use it, act normal. Like, I feel like she has such a nice personality when she's out of it, but when she is in this, she just goes crazy. So maybe if you just make her more of her personality when she's not dueling, I think I would be perfectly fine with that. If you have to get rid of that mode to do it, then get rid of the mode. That's all I ask for, but that's really it. They end up watching the show. We see Nick Yagi coming in with this big old meat, which this man can cook. I'm just saying that much. This man can cook a meal. Like, that thing was big. That meat was big. I wanted to kind of chomp on that myself, but then we get the whole scene with Akuya-san that I mentioned earlier, and then that was the end of the episode. So, pretty good episode in my opinion. And guys, let me know all your guys' thoughts on this episode down below. Did you guys like this episode? Did you think it was okay? Or did you not really feel this episode? And let me know all the questions as well that I asked you guys. What do you think happened to Mr. Goha, or whatever that scene was with Mr. Goha and Mimi? What was your guys' thoughts on that? Did you guys feel like there was some romantic tension between Asan and Yuga? And what did you guys think of the shock result of Tsuchiko winning this duel? Let me know all of you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And guys, that is going to be it for this episode review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, guys. And until next time, take care.